afternoon, everyone. We're here in Shanghai. We're here in the Yangtze River Delta today, home of the 16 corners that make up the Shanghai International Circuit. 54% of this 3.3-mile lap is taken at full throttle. We'll be getting up to speeds of around 200 miles per hour with DRS assistance down the back straight before the cars break into the tight hairpin at turn 14. Let's run you.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to episode 93 of the Fuel Pod. We're obviously going to be talking about China tonight. We had a lot of stuff go on in that race. It was kind of crazy. Mikey's got something going on. He's got a UFO sighting in his kitchen or living room.
Oh shit! You brake checked me on a safety car. I was paying attention. I promise.
I brake checked. There wasn't any other cars in front of me. It was definitely a brake check, of course. There weren't cars just piled up in front of me. Sorry, man. Didn't mean to do that. My bad.
I was paying attention.
Okay, so obviously we definitely have a bunch to talk about with the Chinese Grand Prix. So let's just start with all the sessions on the whole. We had some dry weather, had some wet weather, had some sun, had some overcast, back to wet. Race was pretty much just overcast day, which I would love that. It'd be nice not having the sun glare in your face. So I'd probably enjoy overcast racing, but it caused some problems because it lowered the temperature and changed the tire dynamic. So we basically had two strategies that were ran this weekend: go on mediums, switch to hard, switch back to mediums, and then the other option, which I'm deeming the stupid option, was to race on softs for like 8 laps, switch to hards for 22, and then switch back to hards again for 21. So to me, that was stupid. But one guy that did do that was Lance Stroll. But more on that, obviously, later. So initial thoughts before we start breaking down some specifics. Mikey, you're first.
It was fun to see China. I've never watched a GP in China, so that was fun. I'll go ahead and bring up the best helmet ever from Alex Albon and his Panda helmet. It was wet, it was dry, it was cold, it was warm, it was everything, and it was fun.
Jason?
It was a great race. China, it was, I obviously have never watched China. I haven't been in F1 that long, but it was a good track to watch. And obviously for Lando's second time racing there, congrats on P3, right?
P2.
P2.
Yeah, definitely more on that later.
Yeah, it's bonkers.
Yeah, so for you Lando fans out there in the world, yeah, you got to see it show.
For you Lando
people also like McLaren as well as Lando. Yeah, no joke. All right, so my first big takeaway from this is the Alonso start. So obviously he's not on pole, but kicks it around the outside of Perez right at the beginning, and it almost looked like he was going to take P1. there for a second. And then, of course, a lot of them are talking about
Mhm.
his age. With that, of course, I'm 49, so I can call bullshit on this, but it's not unheard of to have good reaction time in your 40s. And they were in a slow corner. It wasn't like they were going 206 miles an hour. I always hate it when Jolion does that. And I'm like, dude, you only had 27 races. Shut your fucking mouth and just report on the race. But anyway, great move around the outside. He showed them explicitly how to do it. Everybody saw the two trailer park girls on his rear spoiler going around the outside, and that's the way we do that. So Perez got it back later, but I think Alonso basically was saying, if we were in the same car, dude, you'd be dust. What are your all's thoughts on it?
Hey, Alonso took that on the outside, and that is a circle. Lando tried that in the sprint race and lost the race right there, trying to do the same thing.
Well,
XP.
XP.
And after the sprint race,
Literally
I knew
experience.
exactly where Lando messed up. I said, hopefully he learned, but you can't do that. Well, shit, Alonso did it.
Yeah. That car had some wicked grip.
It did.
Stroll even knows that for sure. His grip was disgusting. He was gripping all up in.
We're just gonna do this all night.
In other people's cars and shit.
He was a magnet.
Jesus.
So, another weird one this weekend, and I don't know if anybody really keyed on it. I did, but Alex Albon was in two multi-lap fracases. The first one was with Esteban Ocon.
I hate that guy.
I do too, dude.
I hate that guy.
I think he just is secretly pretty dark. So, and he's brutal, and he doesn't exactly do what I would call legal defense when he's on the track. So he's all over the place. And it was pissing Albon off. But then Albon turned around and pissed Gasly off. And I'm pretty sure that was warranted. He was edging Gasly off the track a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys have any thoughts on – and then, of course, Gasly's 19.6 second pit stop because they couldn't get a tire on. I think they borrowed a guy from State Kick Sauber F1 G269 team. And
I think they must have done a mechanic swap or something because Kick's under 4 seconds now.
Yeah, man, they had a 3.7 or something on one of Joe Guan Yu's pit stops. And then there was the Valtteri Bottas pit stop where they slipped in a different engine that blew up a few laps later. So it's like they can't get everything going at the same time. They're like, okay, we got the pit stops down, but I'm going to tell you right now, you got a shit engine for today. So another interesting takeaway for me this weekend, and I just labeled this note as Leclerc getting greasy. And, dude, he was doing some greasy overpasses there, some very Alonso-esque, very Sainz-esque, like he's borrowed some tools from Carlos's playbook. He did an outside turn to an inside turn overtake that was pretty cool. Ferrari, kind of an uneventful weekend. Carlos wasn't really on his game. He felt like he backed off, and Leclerc stepped up, if you can call whatever place he came in as stepping up. I think the team obviously missed Sainz this weekend.
Yep. Yeah, with Sainz, his crashing in qualifying and drawing the red flag, he was dead meat. And then that red flag, they got him back. So, kudos to them to get him back on there.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, it's just obviously not up to par. I mean, everybody has off weeks, and I get it. And this was definitely one for him. Yeah. The other person that had an off week was Yuki.
For real.
To the point that I honestly, until they showed his tire rim, I thought he just quit. Because he had shit qualifying, not great practice.
Mm-hmm.
Spins out. He recovered the spin out, and he just drove immediately off in the grass. And I'm like, he's just done.
Yeah, and then his tire's completely off of the rim.
They showed the rim, and it had rolled off. So my hat's off to him for sticking it out, but I felt like he was ready for that weekend to just be over.
Yeah.
And I also get that, and I don't hold that against him at all. We all have days at work where we go in and we're just like, no, this just no. It's not happening today. I feel like calling the front office and being like, Bono, my tires are gone. I'm out. So I know you're a big Yuki fan, and I'm kind of a third string closet Yuki fan, and because I want to see him be great. And yeah, it was tough to kind of watch that this weekend, but he was in China. The Japanese don't fare well there. So anyway, actually, I went ahead there. I had signs meh, and I already talked about that one. So, guys, Lewis Hamilton.
Are we about to talk about the robbing of? Are we going to talk about how he thinks he got robbed of his qualifying?
Actually, you can talk about that because everything I have to talk about is the race. I didn't get to see qualifying, except
I didn't get to watch qualifying, but I'm on Twitter and TikTok all the time. So
well, that's good. You're the social media
Yeah.
guy. So, I got to watch sprint qualifying, which is new this year, and that was cool. And I got to watch it after Chad was telling me about it, and then I ended up watching it afterwards, and that was a pretty unique qualifying session. But Jason, if you will, take the floor, man. Tell us about Hamilton.
So Hamilton, he got his he was doing his qualifying lap, and when he finished it, he was on pole. He had fastest lap. Lando, I think it was 2 or 3 laps later, came in and also got fastest, but they deleted his time because all 4 tires were off the track, as one does. They deleted his time. And then Lewis does another lap, and they put Lando's time back up there because they
I read about that somewhere.
They said that Lando's They said it didn't hold him. They said it didn't give him an advantage, so he still got the fastest lap. Even going off track, they still give it to him because it didn't give him an advantage. And then Lewis, Mercedes was mad. They were blowing their Twitter up. It was
Mike.
bad.
Did you have something to add to that?
Yeah, I didn't ever see the footage of if they all went off or not. I know at the time
I saw Lando
it was
go
car
off.
after car after car after car.
Yeah, he wasn't the only one.
Lap time deleted.
Yeah,
and Lando had his lap time deleted the lap before.
Yep.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was just everybody was getting them deleted, and I didn't know if maybe they just was did his going through them as fast as they were, threw his out, and like, oh wait, what was that again?
I thought he already had.
Did you see the footage where he did go out?
Yeah, I saw him go off, and I
saw him go off. He went all 4 off. Yeah.
He was a car.
I know he had one deleted before that he definitely went off.
And I'm pretty sure Verstappen went into the gravel trap on that turn.
So here's the thing: as long as you have at least one lap in the bank, though, you can have another lap deleted, and you're good. But if you come out on your out lap, and then your first flying lap, you go 4 wheels off the track, and then you don't have another, you come in after that on an in lap, then you don't have a qualifying lap, so you're kind of hosed. But yeah, I can see where Hamilton would be pissed about it. I mean, I understand that, but my thing with Hamilton was like within 3 to 4, maybe 5 laps into the race, griping about this. He was one of the guys that started on the soft tire. It was terrible, and I get it. It was a bad tire. He wasn't able to catch anybody. He wasn't even able to really move. He was hanging out in 15th, 16th place back there. I mean, he considered it an accomplishment overtaking Joe back there. And then they put him on the medium, and I don't know how many people focused on it, but it was like the Lewis Hamilton of way back.
Yeah.
Like he did a double overtake in 2 consecutive turns. And then, I mean, basically surged his way to the top 10 to get in the points. He had a better race than Russell, but Russell was, a lot closer and stayed there.
Yeah.
And just kind of maintained. Russell didn't do anything really fantastic this weekend other than kind of being a dick on defense. But, Lewis made a powerful surge. I don't know who got driver of the day, but I really felt like it should have been between him and Lando. Although when you got old guys if you got guys in the mix for driver of the day, Lando's always going to win. Since it's voted by the fans, but I get that. So anyway, then we got a scary moment towards the end of the race, right behind Hamilton, when Alonso got sideways doing his Tokyo Drift impression into the dirt and recovered it. And again, Jolyon Palmer's like, he's 42 years. I'm just like, dude, shut up. Yeah. Seriously? But he did make that was an awesome move. He went completely sideways, stirred up some gravel, straightened it out, and was still on the attack on that same move, and did an overtake on Hamilton that was beautiful. But that was a cool piece about it. But let's go ahead. We got to get to the elephant in the room. And Lance Stroll, you are that elephant. So we had a yellow flag. Am I correct? And then there was a restart. And cars are lined up, and everybody's kind of on that outside line because there wasn't nothing to be had with that inside line. Alonso locked. This is actually an error on Alonso. He kind of locked his tires up, but just a little bit. But it was enough to keep Lando behind him, right behind him, and Russell right behind him, and Danny Rick right behind that. And then when you first see it, it looks like Stroll just ran into the back of it.
Piastri was in front of Danny Rick.
Okay, so further back, that's where those guys were. But anyway, you don't get to see the in-car footage at the beginning. You just see Stroll run into Danny Rick. And, of course, Stroll calls in. He's like, this effing idiot just brake checked me. And I'm like, you were going 7 miles an hour. There were 6
Everybody
cars
else
in front
was
of
going
him.
7 miles an hour. He was coming in at 45.
And then they show the TV pod view, and he's looking off to the right. I don't know if he spotted a honey over there or what he's doing, but he fell asleep at the wheel, dude.
Literally.
Absolutely.
And then after the race, Danny's talking about, I was over it. And then I saw the footage of what he said. And now I'm fucking pissed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. There was nowhere for Danny to be other than where he was. That was a boneheaded move by Lance Stroll. He's kind of known
underneath his rear end. He hit him so hard he went underneath his car.
And for the record, Danny Rick was top 10 contender.
Literally.
Not 11th place, Yuki style. He was I think he was in 7th, actually.
We were getting our Danny Rick back.
Yeah. Anyway, it ruined the rear of that car. And as soon as they got the green flag racing.
Piastri's.
Huh?
It ruined Piastri's too.
Oh, yeah.
It pushed Danny into Oscars. Yeah. He had nothing after that.
Yeah, Danny just fell down the order and then was out. They just retired the car, which is a smart move for Vito.
And he got a penalty.
And then he gets a penalty for this mysterious passing under safety car. And that is such a ambiguous. You'd think it would be, here's the thing, that when that happens, that's totally on the team. That's not on the driver. Because they have to tell them when to slow down and back off because you can't see on your side like that. And especially when there's a wall there. And I don't know, it looked close to me, but of course he got nailed with it. Who else? There was somebody else that got nailed with that.
So Logan Sargent, same thing.
Logan Sargent, yeah.
Logan Sargent, same thing on Hulkenberg. Same thing. And here's what, and Cody, you're gonna like this, but I am totally on Danny Ricciardo's side tonight. He got hosed by Lance Stroll, took him out of the race. All right, let's talk about these penalties. Logan Sargent passed Hulkenberg on a safety car. Lance Sargent gets a 10-second penalty and 2 points off his license. 10 seconds, or you can't. You're already in last. What the hell does that do?
Yeah.
All right. Then Danny comes in, does the same thing. All right. If he made the mistake, he made the mistake, whatever. But he gets 2 points taken off his license and a 3 grid penalty for Miami.
For Miami.
For the same infraction, right?
Yeah, they're passing out 2 different rules. It's weird. 2 different penalties.
We made it to China before the FIA got screwy. Started making them up as they go along.
Well, they did. I think it was it a couple races ago where we had a big scuttlebutt about who was that? It was a Magnussen when he was just getting ridiculous. Jeddah. Magnussen got 2 10-second penalties.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So anyway,
here's screwed on that.
Here's what with Lance and K-Mag both, because K-Mag took out Yuki, and bonehead move. Why?
I didn't watch the footage on that one.
We're following a safety car.
Yeah.
He went in hot and braked late and took Yuki out. Both of them. Lance Stroll, K-Mag, 10-second penalty. They're already in last. That doesn't hurt anything.
No.
It's like they're not even penalized. After it all went out, you see K-Mag and Lance Stroll racing side by side for a bit right after it all happened.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was hoping, wow. I was like, please just take each other out. You deserve it. Just if the FIA is not going to give it to you, just man up and just crash into each other.
Well, I mean, I hate it. And that track was a little weird this weekend. I don't know if you saw like Max Verstappen's qualifying where he ended up spun out in the gravel. And,
that's what
And then he blamed the whole thing. He's like, this track is terrible and blah, 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 this and that. And
he also stayed up all night streaming.
Yeah.
The night before the race. So
yeah.
I was like,
well, I guess it helped him out because he still won by 3 weeks. But
yeah.
So he was racing.
We got 2 more points that I want to throw out. And I'm just going to say exactly what I wrote in my note. Does anyone give a shit about Red Bull anymore? Hell, I think the drink tastes like shit.
Whoa.
I'm talking about the standard Red Bull flavor.
Whoa.
I think it tastes,
Yeah.
Deal with it. It
No
tastes
chance.
awful. But seriously, does anybody even give a shit about Red Bull anymore?
Not the team, no, not really. I mean, they're gonna win they're gonna win constructors.
I mean, even fans of Red Bull have got to be a little bit bored of it.
I'm on like the McLaren chain right now. I want Lando to go all the way up.
I do want to see, and actually, Jason, you just segued into my final point, even though we haven't reached closure on my previous question about Red Bull. I mean, how long is this domination going to run? I mean, how long? You guys got to guess?
This season.
What are you thoughts?
I'm hoping 26.
The rest of this season.
Other teams can pull close, but
I mean, it depends on who comes out with the car in 26. I mean, that was what happened in 24. Or 23 rather, was they came out of the gate with the better car.
Yeah, and Red Bulls, they're changing their power units. You still got Adrian Newey, so
yeah,
you got a leg up on the field.
But how long
before you even begin?
How long before Newey retires, and how much of his information has he passed down to whoever his successor is going to be?
Yeah, I don't know. I think 26 it tightens up a little bit.
Newey's like a car whisperer, though. Like I mean,
that's a great way to put it. He absolutely is.
That dude can put anything. I mean,
here's the thing too that
he
I need to guess.
Airflow.
And Mikey, I think you're gonna jump onto this with me, since you watch endurance racing and GT World Challenge and stuff like that. But Audi is coming in 26, and Audi does not play around. They are a top tier performer in everything every other type of racing that they do.
And they're coming in 26, right?
Yeah, in GT World Challenge, they're right up there with Mercedes Codis, Mercedes AMG, especially on the sprint races. When it's the endurance ones, Mercedes will get the leg on them. But when it's the sprint races on tight tracks, Audi brings it home.
They were on pole for Daytona.
Yeah,
2024.
Well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they do. I think it'll definitely throw a wrench into it, especially with Mercedes there. And if Adrian Newey is 65, man. I just don't know how much longer he's going to stick it out. So, and I'm not saying I want to see him go because, we've got to witness probably one of the greatest car builders of our generation, and an unprecedented run that we'll probably never see again.
Do you
on
think
that
he's
team.
designed the car already?
Oh
When
yeah,
they
I think
get there,
he's
like, look,
yeah.
I gave you the design. I'm walking away.
Yeah, at the very least, he's got a bare bones concept of what he's wanting to do. But they're still waiting on to see what all the regs are, because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can pretty much bet they've probably been toying with the rules or the regulations to try to favor closer racing and probably do away with the Red Bull advantage on the FIA end. So it should be interesting to see what happens. But I got one last thing, and Mike, you're going to like this. So this is partly for you coming down on Danny Rick's side tonight. Lando Norris impressed me this weekend, which for him, that's hard for him to do with me. But he impressed me this weekend. I felt like he was an endurance driver this weekend. He held his ground. He didn't do anything stupid. He waited for the Alonso Perez thing to work itself out. And then once it did and Alonso fell back, Lando took that spot and eventually took the second spot and didn't give it up. And like I said, he didn't do anything stupid this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And he
That's been huge for him. You
Yeah.
know, it's always a dumb mistake that he makes.
Yeah,
In the sprint race, he made a dumb mistake.
that's true. He cost him. I think he cost himself the win on that one, possibly.
So yeah, he was about as flawless as I've seen him.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what he can do. I don't think he's going to. I think he'll get a win at McLaren eventually. I don't think he's going to get a championship at McLaren though. They're so far removed from Red Bull right now that and everybody is. As much as I love Ferrari and all the F1 press saying, it's not so easy now for Red Bull to pass a Ferrari. I think that's crap. I think it's super easy for them to do it. And I just don't think they can hang with them. Sainz has the best opportunity to do so, but he can't do it week in and week out.
No.
I mean, to be clear, he was, at Singapore last year. Every week. It's going to be, how can I work that in every week? Singapore last year. And what was the race this year?
Your favorite thing to talk about.
There was a race this year as well. So anyway, my last thing I've got, guys, unless you guys got anything, is I want to hats off and a Pirelli podium hat for Cody Spencer this week, who took over the P1 spot in fantasy. He had a really solid week, and he has Hulkenberg. I think we both do, actually. And what killed me was Bottas this weekend, because Bottas had positive points, and then he DNF, and I ended up with -14 with Bottas.
Yeah.
So Bottas is P10 quali. I was like, sweet, I'm gonna carry this thing. But no, didn't happen. And so hats off to Cody Spencer. Great job this week, especially without chips. You beat me fair and square.
Wow.
Kudos to you, my friend. Never met you, but obviously you have a little bit of knowledge of what's going on. So excellent job. So did anybody make any big gains this week?
I dropped.
Fantasy?
I moved up 400 points. I'm above 500 points. I'm making my way back. I'm only 400, I think, behind like everybody else. I think.
I'm gonna pull this up here and see what's going on. Did Chad make any moves?
I don't think so.
Because he was talking a mean game.
Spot, I believe.
He was talking a mean game this week.
Oh no, he just stayed where he's at.
So yeah, he's in P7 right now.
I finally moved up above 300 points.
But let's look at the race just this weekend. So I'm gonna filter this for the Chinese Grand Prix only. So Jason came in first place this week.
Yeah.
Oh, you used the Limitless chip. Way to go, buddy.
Listen,
you did.
I had to.
I get it. Dylan came in P2. Cody was P3. That was a big jump. I came in P7 this week. Mikey, you came in 8.
Where'd Chad come in?
I was 8.
Where's Chad?
Yeah. Chad came in 4, P4.
Oh, 4. He did.
Kenzie came in 5.
Whoa,
Toby,
whoa. Chad used a chip. I just want to be clear. Not just
Did he?
me. He used wild card.
What's wild card do?
It gives you free transfers.
Oh, yeah, he
Unlimited
likes doing a
transfers.
lot of transfers. He
Yeah.
had to use it. He was telling me he just like completely broke his team apart there. So
Which is what I did. So
anyway, so yeah, I had Hulkenberg who only got me 4 points, and Bottas negative 14. So
that killed you right there.
yeah, that hurt bad. And then Cody, we have a lot of the same stuff. We both have Ferrari as a constructor, and we both have Sainz, Leclerc, and Alonso. So
Yeah, and then you have Hulkenberg, and he has K Mag.
yeah,
That's where y'all differ.
I really got to get rid of Valtteri. I just don't know how to do it. I've got 1.1 million left over, but it is what it is, man. So
I haven't used any chips yet. So like I said, I'm waiting for those mid-season upgrades.
I used the no negative points chip for the 1 week that I had both of the Williams drivers, which I think is a smart move.
Yeah.
So that helped out a lot because instead of Albon getting me minus 1 point, he got me 14 positive points. And of course, Logan still got me 0. But anyway, guys, that's all I got. So we got a breather next weekend. Nothing until May 3rd with the Miami Grand Prix. So we're heading to the U.S. for a week. Not my favorite track.
I think there's a big meeting going down this week, isn't there?
Is there?
Yeah. So have you seen the scoring system? They want to
No, I have not.
give
Scoring
two
system.
and 1 point. So the top they want to. It's being suggested that the top 12 score, with 12 getting 1 point, 11 2, and then working up like it has been, just to increase more drama in the mid pack, I guess. But yeah, I think it's kind of looking like they're going to go to top 12 get points. But
So
they're supposed to be having a big meeting about that this weekend.
Okay, well, that'll be interesting.
So we have a free weekend. They don't have a free weekend.
Well, the drivers do. They'll be doing stupid games like they always do, especially with Miami coming up. So
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
there'll be somebody will get spotted at a Marlins game, and Lando will be playing golf with some Miami Dolphins and Zach Brown. You know how it'll be.
I mean, I'll go play golf with Lando.
I know McLaren
so.
McLaren's bringing an upgrade package for Miami. I read that earlier.
Well, they should see what they can do. Lando hasn't historically had a good time at Miami, so that very first year he got wrecked out with Gasly. Yeah, the year before that though, him and Gasly got into it
hard all season.
Yeah, so
that's what I was hopeful, because last year that McLaren was trash this time of the year, and he came in P7.
Yeah,
so I'm expecting a good week for Orlando.
Yeah,
he's definitely my DRS boost.
He's right on his tail.
You're putting Lando as your DRS boost?
100%.
I think I'm going to leave Sainz as my DRS boost this week.
I don't think you should do that.
So I'm gonna stick with I'm gonna dance with the one that brought me. So we'll see what happens. But guys, listen, have a great rest of your week. Anybody, whenever you do catch us, and to the people watching tonight, have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your motorsports weekend. I know there's some other racing going on this weekend if there's not Formula One. So if you got local dirt track or NASCAR, IndyCar, some endurance stuff. Rally's got Croatia this weekend, I think. Or maybe that was last weekend. I think they got Croatia this week.
I think it's upcoming, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, find something to watch and get out there and race. So you guys have a great one, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.
Later.
Good night.